What's poppin', folks? Blackheart Sage here, jumping in to give you my review of Mighty Gunvolt Burst, a platform shooter that was originally released in 2017 for the Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Switch, which is how I experienced it. Alright, now full disclosure, I am by no means the best at platformers. I've never played a Megaman game and I'm completely new to the Mighty Gunvolt series, so I didn't really know what to expect, but to be honest, I was a little surprised with how much I like this little title. It's not the most mechanically feeling by any means, but as a newcomer, I think this was a pretty good primer to the whole run and gun genre while still offering a little bit of depth that left things fairly satisfying. Anyway, to the review.
So, what's the story? Well, this is probably one of the areas where Mighty Gunvolt Burst may disappoint, as it isn't too heavy on the narrative. The game pits you as either Beck or Gunvolt on their respective journeys to a virtual world they've been trapped in, tasked to regain their abilities and defeat assorted big bats along the way. There are some minor changes in the storyline depending on who you pick, as whomever you don't choose is placed as your rival, but that's probably as deep as it gets, and while I'm not really here for the story, there's still a bit of charm to be had from a simple presentation. When it comes to gameplay, Mighty Gunvolt Burst feels pretty smooth. The controls are simple and responsive. You've got a shoot button, a jump button, and your choice of directional movement via stick or D-pad, something I can definitely appreciate as a noob to the genre. Across the playthrough, you'll traverse different levels that contain their own platforming elements and physics, with the overall level design lending itself to the classic trial and error variety. Health recovery items as well as collectible stickers can be found in each stage, further encouraging replays for higher scores and ability unlocks. Each level contains its own boss, and sometimes the challenge they provide can get really intense, putting your reflexes and strategy to the test. On the whole though, the jobber enemy design and combat tends to suffer from a lack of variety, and they can sometimes feel more like speed bumps in a level rather than actual threats. The burst mechanic also helps to quell this little issue in that it rewards you for finishing off enemies up close, netting you higher points for your overall score. You're incentivized to finish off enemies and even bosses with the burst and burst combos, literally bursting more than one consecutively, despite some not so awesome enemy placement. I definitely had my fair share of falls trying to make a jump to an edge that the little bot was on. Damn man, what's up? You thought this was Smash Brothers, didn't it? Rob looking ass, ROB looking ass, boy, I'm really about to get. Where the depth of the game really starts to open up is with the bullet customization system. With a combination of skills and CP, character points applied to a limit-based list, you can change the attributes of projectiles you fire and cater to your preferred level of strength and challenge. Want faster bullets? How about affecting the trajectory of your bullets after you fire them? Maybe you want to make them bounce off of solid surfaces, or maybe you want to shoot through walls instead. With enough CP and unlocked skills, you can experiment and set effects in ways that help enhance your modern retro experience, or if exploited, can basically remove all challenge from certain enemies and bosses with the right upgrades. But these customizations can be made at any time in the event you want to re-up the ante. Visually speaking, Mighty Gunvolt Burst is no slouch and really nails the whole retro aesthetic. The game presents various locales in 8-bit pixel art perfection, from military bases to city highways to power plants. I mean, this game goes there. The character designs of the main characters and bosses are pretty neat too. I especially like the attention paid to their animations. The bosses have expressive movements and facial expressions before their attacks and phases, serving as little visual tells for their attack patterns. Beck and Gunvolt, when weakened, will even take on a visually exhausted and battered look. The level of polish is a testament to the care that the team at Inti Creates and Comcept put into this one. After a few runs though, you may begin to notice some of the more uninspired qualities of the level design. For instance, there's a heavy amount of green in this game that may be offensive to others. Also, a few sections of the game devolve into the stage gimmick being going through a level you can't actually see, which just seemed like a cheap way to provide added difficulty as well as hiding some less than stellar patterns and textures. Now, if there's anything I appreciate in the game, it's good sound, and I'm up for what MGB puts down.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
These upbeat and energetic chiptune bangers not only push you forward, but get stuck in your head as you make your way through each stage. The sound effects of bullet hits, explosions, and door openings are all subtly different and yet especially crunchy, but in a good way, like the top of a well baked brownie. The sounds of the bullets are varied as well in ways that make sense to their visual design. The pointy bullets have a distinct chirp sound, almost laser like, while the round bullets sound more pellet like. You can't customize the sounds of the bullets though. From time to time, I did encounter a minor hiccup where my character would shoot faster than the sounds could keep up with. In any case, though, it didn't hinder my experience, and all of the sounds worked together in an almost orchestral fashion. While not always a syncopated act between the player and the atmosphere, there's enough laid out in Mighty Gunvolt Burst to immerse you in its world feel. So, where exactly are we with this? Some of the things I really dig about Mighty Gunvolt Burst are the freedom of play the systems provided, the soundtrack, and replayability through avenues of different character routes and the light collectathon elements. I wasn't really the biggest fan of some of the level and enemy designs, and while I was able to beat the game with both characters, newcomers to the series may find this one to be a bit challenging, most of which may be contrivances to classic retro side-scroller shooters in this style.
I had my fair share of fun with this title. Mighty Gunvolt Burst is a short and sweet, average, but satiating little platformer that really aims to keep the spirit of retro gaming alive, even with some of its less than desired trappings. But if you're looking for something new to play and you got a little time on your hands, you should give Mighty Gunvolt Burst a shot. It's pretty easily found on 3DS and Nintendo Switch, but it's also on PS4 and Steam under the name Gal Gunvolt Burst. Well, folks, that's all he wrote. Thanks so much for letting me talk your head off. I really appreciate you spending your time here with me like this. If you enjoyed the review, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you got any retro game recommendations or just game recommendations in general, drop those in the comments. Until next time, see ya.